looking at the front page of today's This Day newspaper, Nigeria's newspaper of record. Federal government declaring war on FX speculators as the Naira slides to 1,830 to the dollar. At the top of the masthead, as Mr. Ifeni points out, Senate sets up a panel to probe Buhari over 30 trillion Naira ways and means. Who better to discuss FX, ways and means, and all these matters than Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, let's put you in the spot.
Oh, the toughest matters. The toughest matters.
How are you today?
Fine, sir. Good to have you in the studio.
Maybe when we came to the studio, maybe the price of puff is about 100 Naira per one. Maybe by the time I leave at night, it will be about 150 Naira.
Small chops, packages have just...
Yeah, but... these are tough times in our country, and it is not difficult. It's so easy to be swallowed up in the crisis of Naira and dollar, and then be meshed by the emotions, and then forget that what the country requires now is leadership, sincere leadership. There's a reason when planes are in big crisis, big emergency, the pilots are given 3 words or 3 rules. The first one they say is aviate. The next one they say navigate, and the next one they say communicate. Aviate is the first thing they tell you to do. Basically, just try and manage to keep the plane in the sky. Maybe the plane lost an engine, maybe the hydraulic system is not working. And maybe the elevator is not system. Just make sure that withdraw from the cacophony or the noises in the cabin with people screaming and praying, and just as the pilot focus on the handling the emergency. The nation requires sincere leadership now, very dutiful leadership now, very transparent leadership on what is happening. Now, the other analogy I'm going to give to you as I move into some things I want to talk about is the analogy of fire. My father told me that when the fire is small, the wind is his enemy. But when the fire is big, the wind becomes a friend. The wind helps the fire to, conflagrate, to spread more. Yeah. Then if you see the fire service people, when they're trying to fight a big fire, especially the bush fires, sometimes they withdraw from where the fire is and go to where the fire has not reached, get the root of the fire, and then start pouring things like water, cutting down trees, just to make sure the fire does not get worse. And, so the fire, as it goes, it starts dying slowly. But what I've seen in Nigeria, in the management of this foreign exchange thing, is the fact that all the people who are in government, I believe they're in government, have been, instead of pouring water on and cutting down trees so the fire doesn't conflagrate, actually pouring petrol into the fire and making things worse. So you have things like saboteurs, declares war, security agencies are ready to fight the saboteurs. EFCC has 7,000 strong officers around the country to, fight these saboteurs. It is the work of our political enemies. You just hear things that make the situation worse. So maybe now, very soon now, we'll smell you on the road and just say, Rotis, you look like you have dollars. You look like you have you must be a saboteur. Speculator. So come into the van, and stuff like that. And so all that they're doing, therefore, has to do with, not, making things worse. So I'm pleading for people to tone down the rhetorics. Yeah. Tone down the rhetorics, and a time for serious and professional management of the country. Shooting at BDC operators. We hear also some companies are being harassed by security agencies. We hear the IMTOs, those who bring in international money transfer organizations, are being harassed. So that's why actually we're having part of this problem now, because they normally handle the retail, their money covers the retail segment of the market is most vulnerable, so there's no supply coming in. Meanwhile, the issue we should face in our country now is what? Supply. Yeah. What do we do to enhance supply? What the central bank has done so far is what I call stemming the tide. stemming the tide is arcing. I like illustrations. Somebody has an accident, and then, burst an artery or whatever, and then you go and take a tourniquet and tie somewhere so the bleeding does not stop. So the bleeding reduces. Yeah. Why you try to rush the person to the hospital? And if you don't rush the person to the hospital, the person can die. That's why sometimes you have somebody that had an accident in Lagos Ibadan Expressway, subsequently dies. People say, but I spoke to him. I talked to him because they stemmed the tide, but they didn't rush him to hospital on time. So saying transfer BTS now and PTS to dollar card, IOCs should remit delayed half of their distance. Yeah. All those are stemming the tide. They are not the solutions that we require, which is what? Supply. Yeah. I have said this several times in this program. I've said it in so many different ways about for FX. And thank God for
was my favorite.
Oh yeah, so many people. We got accolades. Accolades around the whole world from that.
Radiator was the best.
A lot of like I've adopted that accolade. Even yesterday, I got another accolade from that. But the issue is that, when they say declare war, I told you in this program that God's gift to us is petroleum. Each time we've had problem in the past, this oil has always bailed us out. And so what is happening? I say President Tinubu, declare war. This war you want to declare on the Burundi change people or speculators or whatever. Declare it the war on oil. Those who have the alternative pipes, so that our production will spike up to about 2 million barrels per day. Do what's similar to what Iradua did when he came into power. Go to the Niger Delta, call a community conference and everything. Let's find out what's causing this thing. It's in the Commonwealth, so that our production will spike up. So all these things we're hearing now, harassment of this, you're just sharing the same cup of rice. Is what we're sharing. Yeah. There's no supply of foreign exchange. Declare war on those who are limiting our exporters, not only exporters, from exporting their goods and passing through the Eye of a Needle. Declare war on those who are taking our solid minerals, just like that. Declare war on those who are stealing our oil, our Commonwealth, our crude oil thieves. And in that way, IOC said, I'm leaving us. So there are many things to declare where the sources of our wealth come from. You're not doing that. You're going to shoot beauty the change people in Abuja. You're going to be smelling people's hand and leg now to see whether they're FX speculators. You're going to be like maybe inviting people now based on the dollar account balance and say, how did you get your FX? Come on, we're going to cause confusion in this country. It's not going to work. Let them, as the third pilots have yet, let them show leadership. Yeah. Transparent what? Leadership. Because, again, before I go to the issue of National Assembly and the ways and means, the optics has been wrong. The people who are asking us to sacrifice are not sacrificing. They have shown opulence and wealth rascality. And then, cost of governance is still very, very high. Everybody's still flying private jet. It was only during Obi's time that we used to see Obi in following us with Arik and whatever. No governor in Nigeria flies commercial. It's a private jet. So everybody's still living big, like Nigeria is a rich country. So the optics is totally wrong. And I'm going to go to ways and means if I have time.
Yeah, certainly.
Is that, let me tell the government one more last thing. As I told some senior people, senators, I said they should know that Nigeria is like a country that petrol has been poured on the ground. Yeah. We're marching on it, looking for someone to light the match. Maybe the people who are ensconced in Abuja and Sorok and whatever, nobody's advising them. But that's how bad it is. It's not the issue of political enemies. It's not the issue of saboteurs. Supply. Yeah. Ways and means. Yeah. You know how many times I've called out Dr. Lawan on this program? Yeah. By the way, I think we should commend Dr. Saraki. Do you know why? Because if Buhari had run the government of Nigeria for 8 years, the way he ran the last 4 years, because the first 4 years, Saraki didn't allow him to, room to do these things, would have been a mess. It was a Dr. Lawan that, remember his credo at that time, whatever Buhari brings is good for the nation. Right. We'll just approve. Now, I'm happy that the chicken has come home to roost. He was there in the house when they were debating this issue. And you know what he said? He said, forget about the past. and let's move to the future.
forward.
For me also, that is my, you will criticize me, because that's what is my lingo. What is going to come out of this issue? Are you going to bring Buhari to justice?
All right.
Who has the guts?
That's a good question. What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
What are you going to find out? You're driving a car backwards when we have bigger problems. Where are the palliatives? People are not eating. People are hungry. How would that help us? Would the money come from, will you recover money from CBN? Who will recover? If you probe that thing now, suddenly find, who will recover the money from? From CBN? Of course, you can make a statement of bad leadership. But we're even getting worse now. Is the current Senate leadership better than Dr. Lawan?
Wow, there you go.
The jury is out there.
Right.
So the current Senate president is actually going and saying, that the whole country should hold the Mefele to run into this thing that is that's the sum total of what's happening with this kind of thing. So yes, what I mean, let them probe. As usual, what I feel about probing, but I have to rest on the Senate here.
Probe this,
probe this. We never see anything that comes out of it.
Yeah.
But let them probe. Maybe for the first time, we'll have some brave senators, distinguished and honorables who will save Nigeria from the quagmire that we are in now.
Yeah.
But things are really bad. Our president, VAT, if they're not telling you, things are really bad. As I said, this country is like the land with the poor petrol everywhere. The organized people have said, don't light the matches. Sadana has said, don't light the matches. And those are things that are holding us back, holding the country back. Maybe they're not telling them. This is time to show leadership. Yeah. Not all these saboteurs and political enemies and declare war and whatever. There are better things to declare war on to expand the sorts of effects in our country. That's what it should be, supply.
Well said. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thank you so much for giving us the honest dose of what we need to hear. I appreciate your time.